Today we're going to talk about significant content whenever we're planning our lessons. When we look at our curriculum and pacing guides so we know what we need to teach, our lessons can be deeper, more focused, and meaningful to kids if we first unpack our standards and look at what is really the significant content. Whenever we're thinking about how we will be presenting this content to our students, we need to be thinking about what is real to them. We also need to be thinking about how do people use these things in the real world. The first thing we need to do is find the theme of our standards. So we're going to take this set of standards as an example. First, just read through these standards and think about what kind of lessons you'd provide in order to meet them. Go ahead and pause your video now as you're looking through. So some ideas that I used in my classroom to meet these standards were things like creating a water table or a plastic bottle ecosystem, and we would grow different kinds of plants in there and then add pollutants and see what the changes and the cause and effects were. And those were good lessons. They taught erosion and they taught about the effects of humans on the environment, but it was very, very controlled. And so let's just kind of think for a second, what would happen if after doing those lessons that I provided my students, they were asked to describe the changes that would take place to both air and water following an oil spill. I don't know that they could really transfer that information over to something that wasn't necessarily about an oil spill. It was more about erosion, and it was more about if this plant is going to die because I added vegetable oil to it or something like that. So on that same token, would my students be able to transfer what they learned about human activities to such a catastrophic event like that oil spill? Would they think that air is a natural resource? And also, would they think that ground and water pollution directly affect air quality because of acid rain and evaporation? That's something to consider, because usually whenever we are teaching very specific lessons to our students by just following through our curriculum, the students lack an anchor and they're unable to transfer these big ideas to a situation that's very different. Now let's look for some big ideas in these standards that would serve as a theme. So to do this, we're going to think of some conceptual ideas that are present in all the standards. And these are all going to be about 1 or 2 word phrases that would serve as kind of an umbrella that would just encompass everything that is in each individual standard, the big idea, and the strand. Right now, let's just brainstorm what those could be. 1 could be problem solving. I see that in all of these different standards. Another could be change, because that is present, again, not only in this individual strand, but in every single piece. It's talking about how humans are affecting the environment and changing it. Which brings up something else. It could be, with human activity, maybe it's progress. And I also see a lot of effects through here. So what if we also said that it could be cause and effect? Now this is just a brainstormed list. There are other things that could be present in these standards, but what I'm going to do now is look at the one that I've highlighted that I like best. Now from this list, the one that I like the best is change. I think that I can encompass all of those other things that were on my brainstorm list by using the theme of change. Now from here, what I'm going to do is develop a driving question. This question is going to propel my lesson, and it's going to spark interest in my kids, so that way they know, first of all, what their problem is in this unit of study, and it's going to encompass that theme of change.